Welcome to Ground Control. I have a new item for review, and this was sent to me by Banggood, so I want to thank Banggood for sending me this plane to review. It is the FlyBear P38 Lightning. It has two brushed motors and two 3-blade props. The props appear to be 60mm 3-blade props. It comes with an extra set of props. It comes fully assembled, except for, just attaching the landing gear. And let's see, the airframe weighed 46.68 grams. The LIPO is a 1S 300 milliamp LIPO. I do not know what the C rating is. It is not marked on it. But the LIPO weighed 8.69 grams and it has a lossy connector on it. The all-up weight for the P38 Lightning, and this is just a 2-channel plane, is 55.37 grams. It has a wingspan of 430 millimeters, which is 16.9 inches. Now, I did have one issue with this plane. Of course, the first thing I did was I took it out of the box, put the landing gear on it, charged up the battery, put the battery in it, and this is the little transmitter that you get with it. It it functions the same way as all those little FlyBear planes. You turn on the plane, and it does have a little on and off switch underneath the battery bay. You turn on the plane, turn on the transmitter, push your stick all the way up, your throttle stick all the way up, all the way back down. You'll hear a beep and it will be bound up. So what I did was I charged the battery, put the battery in it, put the landing gear on it, mounted it up to the transmitter, and throttled it up, and one of the props flew off of it. So I've had this issue before, especially with little tiny brushed whoop quadcopters. Every once in a while you'll get a motor that where the prop shaft is not quite 1 millimeter in diameter. I don't know how that happens, but it happens from time to time. So, and this prop stayed on, this prop flew off. So what I did was I just took a little bit of super glue and put it inside the hub of the prop, just to kind of narrow the hole on the prop, and then I put it back on. I let it set and dry, let the glue dry, and then throttled it back up, and at least the prop didn't fly off. So hopefully that will take care of that. I'll put a tip together later on to show you what I normally do when I have that kind of issue, to make more of a permanent fix for that. I tried to measure the motors. It looks like the diameter of the motors are 8 millimeter. So I am guessing that they're probably 8 by 20 millimeter motors that are in this. And it's made out of EPP foam, so it's very durable. And you guys know I like these little 2-channel planes from FlyBear. I have flown the F-16, the Su-35, which I still have, and the little Red Baron Biplane. Now, with all 3 of those planes from FlyBear, I have always had to add a little additional nose weight to get them to not do this porpoise thing, to where the weight is balanced just the way it should be, and you don't get that porpoise effect. It climbs and it descends as you add throttle or decrease throttle, but it's not nosing up all the time. So we will take this out to the field, see if my prop stays on, and then see if we need to add any nose weight to it, and see if this has a sufficient amount of thrust for the weight of this airframe. So I'll see you out at the field. Alright, time for the maiden flight of the FlyBear FX816 P38 Lightning 2-channel Warbird. I'm going to try to hand launch it to begin with, and then in the next flight we'll see if we can take off from the ground. Let's get in the air. Whoa, that is really crazy. It is definitely tail heavy. See if we can bring it back over here. Look how tail heavy that is. Oh man, I'm going to have to add some nose weight to it.
This is coming into the wind. It's like a kite. Okay, it's definitely not pretty, but let's see what we have. Okay, so what I did was I took the weight back off of it and I modified the elevator. So let's see if that keeps it from nosing up so much. Wow, it just wants to go in a circle to the left. Alright, so I'm going to bring it in. Let's see. Yeah, it's just, I don't have anything going to the right, you know, it's barely turning to the right. The elevator adjustment definitely helped. Definitely not enough. See that nose up? Great, and I got a vehicle coming over. Okay, so let's see if we can bring it in here. I am surprised at how floaty this thing is. Alright, let me adjust the elevator a little bit more and we'll launch it again, but man. Yeah, it just wants to go to the left. It's like the, I've got full right stick right now and it's like the left motor just is not pulling. I have to really throttle it back to get it to even straighten up. If I throttle up, it'll immediately pull to the left. I don't know if maybe the, I'll have to look at the vertical stabilizers. Maybe they're a little bit warped. And so it keeps pushing to the tail, you know, to one side. That's a shame because I think this would be a cool flying little plane. But I'm guessing that it's got, you know, some warpage on the tail on the vertical stabilizer since it just, I've got full right now. And it's just now, yeah. Man, what a shame. Oh, now I got to go recover it. Okay, I got one more trick up my sleeve. Let's see if it works. Sure it wants to turn left, that's for sure. But not right. What I did was I put a little bit of right rudder into it just to see And yeah, it's at least it's turning right now. But man, does it want to turn left and not right. What a shame. So it looks like I'm going to need to do some work on the rudders to get this plane flying the way it should. I think those booms are probably a little bit warped, pushing it, spinning it to the left all the time, and it takes, right throttle just to be able to keep it straight. This is full right stick right now, and it's circling in a big circle, and it's not nosing up the way it was after I put some down elevator into it. But man, now let's see if we can get it to turn left. Usually it doesn't have any problem turning left, that's for sure. Okay, now. Still seems a little nose heavy, or else, the motors are pulling it up every time you throttle up. I know this is going to be hard to see, it's getting pretty far away. I'm going to have to do a lot of walking this morning, I can tell, retrieving this thing. Well, it's a shame that it's got some warpage to it, because I think this would be a cool flying little plane, and I will definitely get it flying the way it should. But I'm going to have to cut those rudders loose and put in some right rudder. What I did, I'll show you what I did once I land it. But I mean, look, it's nice and it's stable, and it's not doing any porpoise thing. I don't have any nose weight on it. I took the nose weight off. What I had to do was put in some down elevator to keep it from climbing. So I think and I've got the throttle completely off now. I've got the throttle pushed all the way down, and I'm only giving it full right. So in order to get it to come down, I've got to straighten the stick up. All right, that's all I've got for that one this morning. Definitely have some major issues with this airframe, but I think with a little work, I will be able to get this thing flying the way it's supposed to.
Okay, so as you could see by the several attempts on this Maiden Flight, that this airframe's got some issues. Now, the thing that I did to keep this thing from constantly turning left, to try and get it to where it would start turning right for me, is I took some painter's tape. And I folded the edge over once, folded the edge over twice, and then just taped it to the back side of the vertical stabilizer so it would work like a rudder, pushing the tail to the left instead of to the right, so that I could try and get some, right differential thrust in it. Now, I took a close look at these vertical stabilizers, and I do not think that the vertical stabilizers are warped. I think what's going on is I took a closer look at the motors, and the right motor has a little bit of angle in toward the nose of the aircraft, and so that's going to work just like a rudder, with the thrust angle not going forward but going slightly to the left. It's going to want to pull the aircraft around to the left all the time. So the vertical stabilizers actually look like they're pretty straight. I think the whole problem with this thing turning left so well but not turning right is all because of the angle on the right motor. So I'm going to try and reposition this motor to get that straightened out, and then we'll see if that fixes that issue. The other thing where it was really nosing up, you know, on the first launch, on the first go at the Maiden Flight. I mean, it was just wanting to hover straight up. And so I looked at the boom on here, and the boom actually has an angle that's going up like kind of like a banana, you know. And so that's why I had to actually put down an elevator in it to keep it from climbing all the time. I noticed that there are, you know, you have the cutouts here for the rear wheels, the rear landing gear, but there's also a cutout right here, very close, you know, kind of midway in between where the wheels attach and where the vertical stabilizers are. I don't know why those cutouts are there, but I think that's acting like a piece of Adam's foam board. You know, you take a piece of Adam's foam board, you cut a strip of it, and it will lay completely flat. But if you remove the paper from one side, the foam will bow. And I think that's what's going on here, because I mean it's fairly wide in regards to the width of the boom itself. And so I think what's going on is you've got more tension on the foam on the top of the boom than you do on the bottom of the boom. And so it's pulling both sides up like this, so you got constant, you know, elevator into it. So I think what I'm going to do to fix that issue is I'm going to take a couple of pieces of 0.5 millimeter by 3 millimeter carbon slat. I'm gonna cut a slot lengthwise on the boom right over top of where these little cutouts are, and I'm going to clamp this so that it pulls the end of that boom down about, oh, I would say about 3 millimeters. Yeah, about 3 millimeters, and I think that's going to take care of the issue where this thing wants to climb all the time. So I'm certain that that's going to fix that issue. What I don't know yet is if fixing the angle on this right motor is going to fix it to where it turns right as well as it turns left. It could be that that not only do I have an angle in the right motor, but it could be that the left motor is weak as well. So you know, there's nothing I can do about that except replace that motor if it turns out to be weak. But I won't know for sure until I get this angle fixed on this right motor. So as soon as I get those two modifications completed on this plane, I'll have it back out and we'll test it again. But I don't have any doubt I'm going to get this plane flying the way it should. So thanks for watching. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the air.